And we're back. My name is Terrell. We are back with Take What You Can. I am screaming in the mic. It has been a good football day. This is the post-Thanksgiving I'm sick from seeing a bunch of people podcast. Again, my name is Terrell. If you haven't been following me, I'm posting constantly on X. Username is TWYCF on X. Take What You Can Football on X. I post on there all the time. Feel free to just shoot me a follow. It's just a lot of fun on there. And my sense of humor is definitely dumb, but, you know, we love dumb humor around here. When Kyle Juszczyk, well, however you say it, fumbled the ball on like the 1 yard line and they took it back for like a huge return, I just said, do you think Kyle Juszczyk's wife will make a Bills Mafia jacket? Oh my gosh. Yeah, or I quoted Chris Collinsworth. I go, I love watching the weather. Chris Collinsworth. Me and my wife thought that was hilarious. You know, think about Chris Collinsworth talking in that I love Patrick Mahomes tone, but he's, man, I love talking about the weather. Or I love watching the weather. You're just like, oh my gosh, this guy is something else. I remember, what Madden was he on? Chris Collinsworth Madden. I remember me and my dad would literally turn off the volume when he was on Madden. Oh, I can't remember what Madden he was on. I think it was like Madden 09. Yeah, he was on Madden NFL 2009. Yeah, and I like him for the most part, you know. He's just a big dork. And he owns PFF, which, I mean, more power to him, man. Like, that's a huge thing. Yeah. I don't know. Let's hop into these games. Let's jump into the games. Obviously, we talked a lot about the Bears and Lions last time. Oh, yeah, since the last time we talked, they fired Matt Eberflus and they're keeping Ryan Poles, which is exactly the opposite of what I said they should do. But obviously, they're not listening to me. That is just fine. But you are not going to win. I don't care if Ben Johnson is your coach. I don't care. If you don't fix the offensive line and you get a better running game, which obviously, if he's coming from Detroit, you'd think Ben Johnson cares about it. I think Ben Johnson would be a good coach for them. But again, they have to fix the offensive line. They have to get a better running game, better running options. I think they need to get rid of one of their wide receivers, and it's probably going to be Keenan Allen. Maybe even DJ Moore, the way he's acted over time. But I don't know. Like, the fact that Ryan Poles is still there just makes me feel like they're not serious about winning, and they caved into the pressure. And you see, like, all these Bears players, like, commenting about Matt Eberflus. And it just kind of made me realize a lot of times in the past, I've really just gone with what the players have said. And by all means, like, a lot of the times, what they have to say, I mean, it's their own experience. You try to take them for what it is. Take what you can, right? Good one. But at the end of the day, when you really look at the whole big picture and how the team's actually playing, like, I don't know, man. I don't know how you can sit here and blame Eberflus the whole time, but again, we'll see how it goes. I know Kevin Warren's leading the charge. I've met him in person as well. Seems like a pretty solid guy. He used to be a top executive for the Vikings and for the Big Ten. And he seems to be leading the head coach charge. I think that's not a bad thing. Not necessarily a bad thing, but yeah. Okay, Kyle Shanahan said Christian McCaffrey suffered a potential season-ending PCL injury. Yeah, McCaffrey is, you could tell he's done. He's done for the year. People don't just, like, slide down like that unless they're done. And kind of just watching the 49ers collapse a little bit. All these Bears fans are being like, oh, Kyle Shanahan's got to leave San Francisco and come to Chicago. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You guys wish. Big Cat. Brett Coleman. Yeah, right. Okay, keep cheering for your loser franchise. It's not going to happen. And if it does, cool, but okay. I don't know. I mean, at least he'd want to do the right thing. I don't know. I mean, if you can get Kyle Shanahan, heck, I'd take Kyle Shanahan. My coach is Kevin O'Connell. My coach is way better than your coach. But we'll see. Yeah, yeah. That is what it is. Y'all know how I feel about that if you've been listening. The Bears are a mess. They're a clown show. Yeah, I mean, Cowboys beat the Giants. Obviously, I mean, two bad teams, but the Giants are completely horrible. The Packers whooped the Dolphins. Packers are legit. They do things the right way. Man, the way the Raiders lost was rough. Was really rough. Really heartbreaking. I'm kind of sick of seeing the whole, the Chiefs cheat kind of thing. When the Vikings were winning a bunch of one-score games the last, 2 seasons ago, no one ever said they cheated. They're just saying they cheat because they're the Chiefs and they win. They did the same thing with the Patriots. They're doing it with the Chiefs, and they're going to do it with the next team that dominates football. It's how it's always going to be. The Raiders lost because Aiden O'Connell was not looking when the snap came, and there was a big miscommunication. Jackson Powers Johnson, he was livid because I don't think he did anything wrong. I think there was a miscommunication between the guard and the quarterback. Quarterback wasn't ready for it. They could have easily won that game. I understand why they're mad. But they have a lot of... I like the Raiders. I think Antonio Pierce is going to do a good job in the long run. But we'll see how it goes. Hopefully they let him, take the time to actually do a good job. Kirk Cousins, man. Kirk Cousins, 4 interceptions. Diet Coke sip. Got to have one every single time. Click it in the background. Diet Coke sip in your ear. Yeah, Kirk Cousins. Let's pull up the stats for him. I saw the pick 6 and I was like, oh, vintage Kirk. It just makes me not miss having Kirk Cousins on my team. 24-39, 245 yards, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Yikes. That's real bad. Yeah, I mean, Bijan didn't do terrible. He had 100 yards and a touchdown, about 3.9 yards a carry. That's solid, right? Especially against the Chargers' run defense. You'll take that. But no, Kirk, yikes, Kirk. Kirk hasn't thrown 4 interceptions in a long time. But what makes me scared is, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to pull it up. What makes me scared is the Vikings are playing the Falcons next week at U.S. Bank Stadium in Minnesota. Kirk Cousins' first time back, coming off a terrible game. Ooh. That dork is gonna... I like Kirk in some ways I don't. Yeah, I'm just afraid he's gonna come in and light us up. That's what I'm scared of. And then we play the Bears again on Monday Night Football. That's a trap game. And then Seattle, I think we could beat Seattle. But then Packers and Lions, those are 2 tough games to end the year. Holy cow, we got a tough schedule left. I'm just afraid, especially with the way we beat the Cardinals. I think I even posted on X. I was like, hey, don't underestimate this Cardinals team. This is a hard-fought team. They're a hard-nosed team. They're going to play. And they're not going to play around. And they match up well against the Vikings. Luckily, we just squeaked it out. Oh, my gosh. Why do I say squeak it out? No other area of my life other than football, I say squeak it out. I'm done saying that until the next time I get mad that I said it. Yeah, no, Cardinals Cardinals match up well with the Vikings. I'm scared moving forward against the Falcons. I know some people who are going to that game because it's Kirk Cousins' game back, and we'll see how it goes. But I know I think it was last week, Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold's stats are pretty comparable at this point in the season, and Sam Darnold is making like a 30th. No, not a 30th. No, he's making like 10 million, I think. So it's like a third or a fourth of what Kirk's making, which is absolutely crazy. Yeah, Steelers Bengals. Poor Joe Burrow, man. I posted on X again too, like him, Bill Belichick and Joe Burrow seem like a match made in heaven. I think people underestimate how well they'd go together. And I think if I'm the Bengals, I'm trying to get Bill Belichick. Honestly. That's where I'm going with it. And I don't think... I mean, if I'm Joe, that's what I want. Maybe you pull a Carson Palmer being like, I'm out of here. But I don't think Joe's that kind of guy. You know, I think he's the kind of guy where he wants to stay. Carson seems a little flaky a little bit, but I mean, the fact that you can even put 38 points on the Steelers defense is nuts. I don't care if you're a division rival. Like, put up 28 of 38, 309 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. I literally told my wife not to start Joe Burrow in fantasy because I've seen Joe Burrow really struggle against the Steelers, and their defense is playing well, and they're stacked. So, and the fact that the Steelers dropped 44, that's even crazier. Even more crazy. Good game. I don't know, I'm going to let's pull up the game. Let's break it down a little bit. We're going to pull up the game. Maybe watch just all 22 version of it a little bit. Because I'd like to just see where it gets interesting and where I can kind of just break down the game, you know? Where is it here? Bengals Steelers, okay. What's the box score like? Let's see here. Box score. Wow, the Steelers dropped 20 in the second quarter. Holy cow. Fourth quarter, they both scored a decent amount. Let's try to hop in the fourth quarter and watch these guys a little bit. Condensed game replay. Let's watch that. Okay, we're hopping in with about, let's see here. Holy cow, the fourth quarter took a long time in this game. Okay, we're on the condensed game replay of this game. Okay, so the Steelers are up 34-24. It is the fourth quarter. Joe Burrow is really taking the check down. They're driving down the field. The interesting thing about Joe Burrow is I really feel like he's getting the ball out a lot quicker. I mean, obviously, I feel like God has showed him that he has to. I mean, the man has gotten hurt, played through some serious injuries, trying to scramble around. And that's why I feel like someone like Bill Belichick would really, really help him. Ooh, off the deflected pass, T. Higgins couldn't get the ball, and they pick it off. Wow. And they still made it this close of a game? Again, if you want me to already watch these games and talk about them, then you better listen. I'm just kidding. No, I think it's fun to like break them down as it's happening, you know. Russell Wilson, I haven't had a chance to watch the Steelers very often. Like I said, when they were on primetime, I was watching Wicked, being husband of the year. I think Russell Wilson's the perfect kind of fit for someone like the Steelers because, I mean, they're basically like the Seahawks, but obviously Najee's like not Marshawn Lynch at all, but the mentality's the same. The style of trying to win is definitely similar. Russell just launches it out of bounds. Russell still got a cannon, man, and he looks skinnier. He does look skinnier. Okay, Steelers are punting the ball away. I mean, you force a 3 and out. That's a really good thing after giving up an interception. And this is in Cincinnati, too. I mean, gosh, how many games have they almost won? I mean, Joe Burrow's just taking every check down they're giving him. Because Mike Tomlin really loves to play just zone blitz. He loves it. So you just got to pick it apart. He's going for T. Higgins a lot, too. Where do we think T. Higgins is going to end up? Let's take a break on this. Hold on. T. Higgins, where do we think he's going to go? What kind of money do you think he's going to demand? That's what I'm wondering. I was just thinking about this the other day. I'm going to pop up free agency here. Popping up PFF's free agent rankings. Position wide receiver T. Higgins. He's the number 2 prospect on their board for free agency. He's having a great year in terms of PFF grade, which is always whatever, but still, we all know he's good. I mean, what is he? Let's see here. 6'4", 216. Makes crazy catches. Did we already talk about this? I can't remember if we did. If we did, let me know. But, okay, let's just, fire rapid round. Like, Bills could be a real destination, but I don't think that's going to happen because they don't want to pay somebody. He's going to command real money. He's leaving for the bag, man. He's turning 26. This is the time to get money. Even if it's not a team that's winning, he's got to get that bag, Patriots are a real option. Commanders could even be a legit option. The Redskins. Giants could be a real option. Browns, maybe? I don't think so. Packers could... Oh, my gosh. Talk about the worst thing ever. T. Higgins going to the Packers. Yikes. But no, I don't think that's happening either. I mean, maybe, but I doubt it. Colts, no. Jags, no. Texans, no. Titans, maybe, but no. Bucks, no. Falcons, no. Panthers, maybe. I mean, if he really wants the money, like if it's really all about the money, then the Panthers are a strong possibility. Saints, probably not. Broncos, no. Chargers, probably not. Chiefs, maybe, but I doubt they want to pay a guy either. Raiders, possibility. 49ers, no. Cardinals, no. Rams, no. Seahawks, no. So, yeah, I mean, the main ones you're really looking at are Patriots. I think Washington is underrated because they do have Terry McLaurin, but I think they're really going to emphasize trying to get help on the offensive side of the ball for Jaden Daniels because I think they need more help on the offensive line more than anything. But I want to look at their cap space situation going into next year. So I'm pulling up over the cap. If you haven't used it before, there's an amazing calculator where you can really get a sense of where a team's at with their cap space. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're going to have like almost $100 million in cap space. And when you have someone like Jaden Daniels playing the way he is, you try to just throw everything at the kitchen. You throw the kitchen sink. Because when you have someone that talented on a rookie contract, yeah, it's legit. So I'm going to pulling up the PFF lineup here because it just gives me a good like bird's eye view of what their team really looks like at the moment. Because they've got, obviously, Jaden Daniels. They've got Brian Robinson Jr. And Austin Eckler, McNichols. Their offensive line definitely needs work. They got Brandon Coleman, which is, yeah, I mean, he was all right if I remember correctly. Let me see what I had a grade on him. Because he got taken in the 3rd round out of TCU, which... Let me see where I had him ranked, or what grade I had on him, rather. Brandon, just pulling it up here. Brandon Coleman, offensive tackles. I'm so excited for the draft coming up in the next few months. Brandon Coleman, I had him, say, early 4th round pick. Okay, so around that echelon, right? He got taken 67. So early 3rd round. But okay, I mean, not the end of the world. Biotish, he's not bad. Cosme, nah, meh. Lucas has been playing well, but still meh. I think you really just need to invest on any real talent you could get on the offensive line. Luckily, you've got a lot of guards coming in, if I remember correctly. And yeah, you got Trey Smith, who's going to be, that man's going to get paid by somebody. It might even be the Chiefs. But Zach Martin, Tevin Jenkins, James Daniels, Kevin Zeitler, like, you got some real guards you can try to throw some money at, and you have the money. They're going to want to play with Jaden Daniels because the dude's a baller. So, yeah. Hey, if I don't know. Let me look at this defense quick because they did just cut Emmanuel Forbes, which is yikes. I really liked Forbes. He is really slim, but his zone skills, like his ball skills in zone, is really good. They did get Marshawn Lattimore, who hasn't played yet, but that's a big signing. And they have Mike Sanderson, who is a beast. They still got a good defensive line. They got Bobby Wagner playing like Bobby Wagner. Yeah, I mean, they're solid. What are they ranked? And pulling up Pro Football Reference here. I'm just going to pull up their like offensive and defensive rankings for the year. Let's see here. How did I do this last time? I think I just went to the team. Because they just whooped the Titans today. It was crazy. Okay, team stats and rankings. I don't think this is updated before past week 13, but before week 13 for sure. Okay, so they're ranked 17th in points allowed and 16th in yards allowed. They're 5th points scored on offense, 6th in yards. Okay, so they're about middle of the road on defense, which isn't bad. I mean, can really build on the draft. I don't know, man, because you got a lot of money to work with. I would say if I am T. Higgins, the best possible thing that could happen is going to Washington. Because for someone like Jaden Daniels, who, even though he's playing well, he's not perfect. He's definitely not perfect. He struggles in accuracy a little bit and having touch on the ball. Having someone like T. Higgins that he can just kind of throw the ball on a rope towards the sideline, even if it's not dropped in a bucket or even that accurate, someone like T. Higgins can just go up and get it, bro. And the health thing is a little bit of a concern with T. Higgins, but I think at the end of the day, he really just doesn't want to play if he doesn't have the financial security. So can you really blame him? I wouldn't. I mean, look at Saquon, how he's playing. He's playing free. He looks like Penn State Saquon, honestly. So, yeah, if I'm T. Higgins, I'm going to Washington. So, as Trump would say, I'm going to weave back into the Steelers-Bengals game. So, T. Higgins, possible former or future Washington Redskin here. Yeah, you can just see Joe Burrow taking that check down every single time. Every single time. Diet Coke sip. They're blitzing a lot, and they got to him and made him fumble. Took it to the house. Wow. Just wow. Nick Herbig. Dude, oh my gosh, Nick Herbig was awesome coming out of school. He could do everything. He just wasn't elite at anything. He was just really good at so many things. He was kind of such a tweener at linebacker and pass rusher, but again, like when you have tweeners, they could either be a superstar or they're just like rotational pieces. But if you get the right team, they can be really effective. That's what good coaching does, good schematics does. So with the fumble recovery for 6, it's 41-24. Pittsburgh's up. Burrow takes another check down to Higgins. I think they just want him to take the check down. But they really had to blitz. They blitzed like 6, I think. Maybe even, I don't know if it was 7, but I think they blitzed 6 when they got that fumble. Check down to Chase Brown. Being the running back for the Bengals is probably got to be the easiest position ever. Nobody cares about what you're doing. Everybody's worried about everybody else. Or, I'd probably say tight end on the Bengals. Okay, Joe. Who's 80? Oh, that's that guy that starts with a V that no one knows how to pronounce. Maybe it's just me and I'm just no one. I'm definitely no one. Okay, yeah, we got, he's just taking the check down, finding the open guy. I mean, he's kind of looking, I don't know, he's kind of looking like Brady a little bit. Again, I think Bill Belichick might be the guy for these guys. Like, think about how miserable Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow have looked playing for Zach Taylor. Because I just think they need, like, they just want to win. That's literally, like, all players say that, but these guys just hate losing so much. Like, I don't know, man. Bill Belichick to the Bengals, man. That's what I'm shooting for. And I think Bill would have a lot to work with on that defense. I don't know how much. The only problem is, like, would he keep Jamar Chase? You know? He's gotta. Maybe not past a certain point. But if Jamar's serious, I don't know. Like, did they already pay Jamar? That's my only concern with Bill Belichick is I don't think he'd keep Jamar Chase at a certain price point. And I don't necessarily disagree with the sentiment, but with the team that you have, like, I don't know if you cannot have Jamar Chase. What does he got here? No, he's a free agent past 2025. So Bill Belichick's going to have to be the one to pay him. I mean, you kind of find out, like, how serious he was about winning. But then also, like, I could see Jamar Chase being like, yo, Justin Jefferson's supposed to be the greatest. I think I'm better than him, and I'm not even getting, like, 80% of what, or, like, 90% of what he's getting. I don't know. That might be hard for Belichick to deal with. But I do think him and Joe Burrow would be a perfect match. So, T. Higgins with the awesome red zone catch. That dude's just, his catch radius is huge. He's literally just, dude's an NBA player. This guy would be so good on most teams as their number one. It's just injury concerns. He kind of, like, he's built like AJ Green a little bit. But, okay, yeah, they scored. The Bengals are down 41-31. Make a great play on special teams. Oh, come on. You got to love the huge ding in the back. Yikes. That's all right. Najee Harris is one of the most, like, just confusing players I've ever met. I never, like, know whether or not to think he's good or not. I think he just really sets the tone for what the Steelers want. And I think Mike Tomlin just loves him. And I don't know why, like, the Steelers keep getting these wide receivers that are just, they're just, like, crazy, man. Like, maybe they just expect that out of wide receivers. But I don't know. Let's skip up a little bit here because Steelers are playing Steeler football, and it's not exactly great commentary. Okay, they're in the red zone again. Jalen Warren's a good change of pace guy. Justin Fields was in there to try to fake the run there. I mean, for them to have the cojones to go from Justin Fields, even though they're winning games, to Russell Wilson, you got to feel really secure in your job. And if I'm Mike Tomlin, I feel secure in my job. I can't believe Steelers want to get rid of him. Like, what do you think the NFL is? I get maybe gets old watching the same coach, like do the same things. I get it. Mike Zimmer, I get it. But I don't know, man. I think it's fine. But okay, Steelers kick a field goal. It's 44-31. The fact that the Steelers dropped 44 points to me is crazy. I think 2 of the touchdowns were defensive, though. Still. Okay, Joe Burrow again. He's in the shotgun a lot, taking the check down, but the Steelers are just swarming to the ball. They are not playing around. I think this is what they wanted. They're just giving up that check down and just swarming to the ball. No big plays, which I get. Gesicki looks like a basketball player. He's really crazy. I don't know. Let's skip ahead a little bit here. Maybe not the most entertaining thing. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I think those are just the big takeaways of the game. Just like, yeah, I think Joe Burrow, maybe he doesn't need Jamar Chase. I don't know. Especially with the type of receiver Jamar Chase is. I don't know, man. Because, like, I think a lot of people thought, okay, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, yes. But also they did have Joe Mixon, who's a great running back. And they also had a pretty stellar defense that year, too. So, I think a lot of people just forget about that. Yeah, and the Steelers, like, they literally haven't had a losing season in 21 years, and 18 of them are Mike Tomlin. Like, that's just crazy. Like, he's not going to have a losing season. This man literally just, all he knows is how to win. And at the end of the day, do you want to win, or do you want to, like, just be chill about everything? And be, I don't want to say be happy, but, like, do you just want to be content with where you're at, or like do you want to win? Because at the end of the day, like, you can make millions of dollars in football and have a solid career, that's fine, but do you want to win? And I was just explaining to my wife earlier today, like, unfortunately not every team actually wants to win. They say they do, but they really don't. So I don't know. Like, I struggle with the Vikings. I wonder if they actually want to win or not. Jury's still out on that. I think my biggest thing is the fact that, okay, I go to a game and there's all these, like, pyrotechnics, the show, the galley horn, like, all that stuff. The showmanship of it is entertaining. It's a great experience, but it's like, all I could sit there and think was, we haven't won anything. We literally have never won a Super Bowl, and this is where we're at. Like, we act like we're one of the greatest franchises, but we've never actually done anything. So that's where I feel like, okay, do you actually care about winning, or do you just care about making money? And I think there's a mixture of both for a lot of people, for a lot of owners, rather. But, like, to me, winning makes money. Winning makes you money. So I think you should just focus on winning, and from there you'll be fine. Okay, I guess we're just moving forward to next games here. The Vikings win a nail-biter, like I mentioned earlier. The Colts win a nail-biter. I just am always just happy for Anthony Richardson anytime he does good. Bucks won a nail-biter. Bryce Young's looking good. He's looking like the guy he should have looked like. I'm still not saying he should have gone first overall. I'll never say that. Unless he's like a multi-time MVP winner and wins a couple Super Bowls. Then I'll eat my crow on that one. But, yeah, I don't think Bryce Young is a first overall pick in any draft. I'm sorry. but that's just me. I'm going to pull up his stats here. Let us see. Stats. Okay, Panthers. He was 26 of 46 for 298 and a touchdown. Still not great. I mean, I saw some highlights. He made some nice plays. Adam Thielen's the man. I literally posted like that crazy catch he had, and I'm just like, if you're a Vikings fan, this is not surprising to you. Like, this man has been one of the best catchers of the football that I've ever seen. He's like, his hand-eye coordination is insane. Really underrated Vikings receiver of all time. Love Adam Thielen. The only thing that's annoying is that he, once we didn't want to pay him a certain amount, he got all butt hurt and was like, I'm going to go to Carolina and prove myself. And he did good, but they did not win. Yeah. If I'm him, I would want to come back to Minnesota. I don't think Minnesota would take him back. But, yeah. We're going to keep looking at the games here. Yeah, I mean, the Eagles beat Baltimore. The Eagles are getting scary. I think they're relying on Saquon a lot, and I just think they needed him for a reason. And I don't think, like, if Saquon gets hurt, this team ain't winning the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, they're just not. Like, Saquon is putting them over the edge. He is the reason they are in this position at all. I know they have a lot of injuries, but yeah. I know they've got a lot of injuries, but without Saquon, I don't think they're anywhere near where they need to be. But we'll see. I mean, we will see. The fact that they beat Baltimore was impressive. I really thought the Ravens were gonna win that game. But yeah, I mean, the way the Bills beat the 49ers, I basically just watched that game. I'm recording this right after that game. I mean, losing McCaffrey is really everything, I mean, they have so many injuries on that team, and losing McCaffrey is just kind of like they just said that he's out for the year. And you could tell, like, he just slid down. He's like, nope, I ain't running. That's it. Something popped. Something's wrong. And, if I'm the 49ers, I really don't know where to go from here. I think the big move is you cannot keep Deebo Samuel. You just can't. Especially, you got Ricky Pearsall. You got Jawan Jennings playing the way he is. I just don't think you can. And you got to get some younger talent in the backfield. And maybe even in the wide receiver room where you can just say, hey, like, we got to get some playmakers here. At least in the backfield. Because once McCaffrey went down, it was hard. And they got McCaffrey for a reason. Like, Kyle Shanahan really wanted that kind of guy. And, I mean, I don't know. Who do you go with, I'm not a big fan of first-round running backs at this point. But I also don't hate on running backs the way most people do. I don't think the running back position has been devalued. I think the single, bell cow kind of running back has been devalued, but there's definitely a place for them. But they have to be better than everybody else. And look at Saquon, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey when he's healthy. Ashton Jeanty or however you say, Jeanty. Yeah, man. I don't know how high he goes. Pulling up the draft order here. Here, I'm just going to pull up NFL standings. NFL.com. And just see where we're at. Because I think it's either the Jags or the Giants. I hope the Giants don't get the first overall pick. Actually, I hope they do and they take Shador. I don't think that's going to work out. But let's see here. Yeah, okay, yeah, so we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't care if it's Adrian Peterson reincarnated. He ain't going first overall. So Jeanty's not going first. He's not going second. Giants, there's no way they can take a running back this high again after Saquon. The Panthers is maybe where I'd think about it. Not where like if I would do it, but if I think it could happen. But they did sign Chuba Hubbard to a long-term contract. Browns, they have Nick Chubb. I mean, he might be gone, but I don't think they'd do it. Patriots definitely no. The Jets, no. Titans, no. Bears, maybe. Oh my gosh. If the Bears get him, that would not be fun. That would be the kind of move that you would make. I still don't know if I'd take him that high. You know? But I don't know. Like, I haven't fully watched it. I mean, let's pull him up. Now's a good time. He's got so many records going here. He's just been absolutely amazing from what I've seen stats of. But let's just pull him up. Ashton Jeanty versus 2024. Let's pull it up here. Versus Oregon. Okay, this was like 2 months ago. This is 13 minutes of just plays here. We got the 5-second ad. Let's go. Diet Coke drink. Okay. Here we go. I love the way he just like stands up. He looks like Michael Myers, like he's just going to murder you when he gets the ball. Okay, obviously has the speed to kick it out. Has home run type speed. This is kind of how I just react when I watch when I watch like prospects. I wonder if I'm just going to like watch and show my reactions to things. But we'll see. I don't know. Or if I'll give you my reports ahead of time. We'll see. Depends on what you guys like. He definitely seems like he has solid vision. But I haven't seen anything insane. It's so crazy how he just stands straight up like that. That's like his signature thing. Okay, he's just like faster than like no D lineman's catching him. He like doesn't look super fast off the line necessarily, but he just looks really smooth. That's the thing. Like he's obviously fast, he just doesn't look fast. But there's definitely no wasted motion. He's swatting an arm away. He looks like his frame is really built well to take hits. You can see, I mean, his arms, his thighs. Has a nasty cut. He doesn't quite keep his balance, but yikes, man. Not a lot of people can make that cut. He's trying to do inside zone. He kicks it out, trips, and just can't stay up, but he knew it. Inside zone again. Good cut. I mean, lowers the shoulder, takes hits, but still falls forward with speed. Yeah, man. Okay. He's legit. It's definitely legit. Still have yet to see like a home run here. Or really anything pop necessarily. He just seems like he's good at everything. Like yeah. But I'm waiting for something to pop. Okay, great vision, cutback ability. He's really good at keeping his hips square to the line and just bouncing to the outside. He can go from, he's taking a zone read to the left and just popping it to the right. He definitely seems more of like a zone runner, but he looks like he can kind of do it all. I mean, he seems pretty comfortable in zone. And he takes hits well. He kind of reminds me of like Dalvin Cook with less like agility but more power. Oof, he just popped a guy. Looked like a defensive lineman. He just lowered his shoulder and took him back. Yeah, this guy don't play around. Yeah, that was a big linebacker he just took out, dude. He's not playing around. And granted, this is like one of the best teams in the league at this point, or in the country. I'm on my NFL brain going on here. Did I do this last time? What if I did this last time? Did I watch this game last time? I watched something with Oregon, but I don't think it was Ashton Jeanty. I think it was somebody else. Yeah, the dude's arms are huge. He looks like an NFL running back. Okay, red zone. He does have a lot of speed going straight. I'd like to see him bounce off tackles a little more. I don't know. I'm afraid to like hate on him because everyone's talking about how great he is. But I don't know. I mean, come on. Keep it going here. We're in the red zone again. Can you punch it in? Can you punch it in? Okay, he cuts it out. Gets it pretty easily. Okay, he definitely seems more like a zone runner. He can do inside zone runs out of the shotgun, and kind of bounce it out or bounce around. He does have power to his game, but he ain't. I mean, he's not Josh Jacobs. He's not, I don't even know who else to say. He's not LeGarrette Blunt, Derrick Henry kind of thing. Like, I don't think he's like hammering it in a lot. But he's definitely cutting things out, and he's definitely got balance, power. He's got it all. Cuts it out, stays balanced, loses yards, but doesn't fall backwards. A lot of times I try to look for, like, okay, if they do take a hit, do they fall forward or do they kind of get stopped? Do they go backwards? Because a lot of times that extra yard or two makes a huge difference in the NFL. He's really shifty. He does have good speed. It's not like his burst off the line isn't like, it's not a big wow. But it's really the power, the balance, and the speed. Yeah, wow. Dude's a freak. Okay. So it's balance, power, and speed. And a little bit of agility. I mean, it's just weird because when you look at players, you really see like what are like the key traits here. Like when I saw Roshan Johnson, his acceleration and power straight ahead was just like some like I hadn't seen in a long time. Some kind of acceleration and strength I hadn't seen in a while. But that was really all he had in a lot of ways. This guy's, I mean, his balance is huge. His speed and strength, those are big things. He's kind of like a Alvin Kamara, but way faster. He's got that kind of balance. The only thing that worries me, I mean, he is carrying the ball a lot, dude. Like a lot. But I don't know how much that like actually translates. I think that's one of those things that teams just say to try to get him to drop a little bit if they're further in the draft. But if he's setting historic records like the way he is, I mean, it's going to be hard for him to not go in the first round. Especially how Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs did. I think we are kind of veering back a little more towards the run game and the, like running backs than maybe we used to be. He kind of reminds me of Jonathan Taylor, but he looks better. He reminds me of like prime, like I think it was like 2019, 2020 Jonathan Taylor. Pass blocking, he just did a terrible job pass blocking. That's okay. Adrian Peterson was terrible at pass blocking too. Even though you'd think he would be good because dude's huge. But nope. Okay. I'm just kind of waiting for I guess I'm just waiting for like dominance. Like he's really, really good. I'm just waiting for like a huge dominant run. But again, this is against Oregon. Clearly, they're not as like Boise State's not as good as them. But yeah, I mean, let's see here. Yeah, the pass blocking does not look great. He does not seem to get how to block. He just kind of lunges at people, which is if you're ever lunging when you're blocking, you're in a terrible position. Wow, he just made a great catch down the boundary. Oh, did he drop it? He might have dropped. He still even have the athletic ability to try to make that catch and almost come down with it as a running back. Yeah, that's huge. Is he better than Bijan was? From what I see. And I was kind of lower on Bijan than other people and Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, you can't sit here and tell me Bijan has been amazing. You can't even sit here and tell me that Jahmyr Gibbs has really been amazing either. He's not even a starter. You know? I really don't believe that if David Montgomery was not a Lion and Jahmyr Gibbs was the full-time starter, I don't think he'd stay healthy. Okay, here we go. Here's the home run ball. Okay, we're at the 30-yard line. Okay, we got... Okay. Just inside run here. Really good hole. He's got a guy blitzing off the right side. He cuts inward to about the B gap and just cooks everybody on the team. Doesn't lose a step. Yeah, okay. The speed is elite. It really is. It's the speed and the power. I've yet to see... I see the cutting ability. I've yet to see like true vision. Some of these reads as a running back seem a little simple. Cause yeah, he made a great play. You know, he did it. He just put one foot in the ground and just shot it up the middle. And that's great, obviously. But he had the speed to finish. If you know, maybe he doesn't have to rely on vision as much. You know, not every running back does. But if you want to last in this league, like talent will only get you so far for so long. Eventually, you got to learn. I mean, look at Joe Mixon. Dude's still dominating. Joe Mixon is low-key one of my favorite running back prospects ever. Like, his vision coming out of college was just insane. And then he had, like, the off-the-field stuff. He punched a girl in the face. Obviously, that's not cool. But just, like, I don't know, just watching him, I'm like, dude, this is, like, one of the most talented running backs I've ever seen with his vision. It was ridiculous. So I really value vision, but obviously Ashton is just super talented. The speed is huge. And the power, like the durability thing is definitely good because if you're just wow, like if you have that kind of speed and you have that power, it's going to be hard to stop. Boise State was really down to the wire with Oregon here. No wonder they're ranked. I love the standing up. He literally looks like Michael Myers. He can bounce. He can really rip off. Or he can bounce. I don't want to say bounce off tackles. He can kind of throw tacklers off him. Interesting that he went to Boise State, though. Bouncing out. He's got good balance, man. Balance and power and speed. Ooh, that is hard to match. Where has he always been on Boise State? Because he's only 21, which is great. Like, if you're this talented and you're only 21, heck yeah. He's 5'9", 215. That's about the range you want it to be. Like, in terms of your, like, molded running back here. Yeah, he's been at Boise State the whole time. Wow. What prospect was he? Doesn't say how many stars he had. Hold on. Ranking. Recruit rank history. He was a 3-star. Wow. 3-star recruit, huh? That's crazy. You see how many of these NFL prospects that just did not start out well out of high school. That really means nothing. I guess it doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean everything. But yeah, I mean he's definitely going to be an interesting guy to see come out and see where he goes, you know? Again, that's really the interesting aspect of this, because the amount of running versus passing has flipped since maybe like the 1970s or so, but still the gap between the two is really not far. Like, you're still within a 60-40 split, and running the ball is very important. And I think a lot of people underestimate that. And a lot of the reason that passing might be up higher is because a lot of those are RPOs and screen passes, and I think people underestimate that a lot. Running still does dominate football, and at the end of the day, if you can't run and you can't stop the run, you're going to lose games. It doesn't matter. And if you can stop the pass, or if you can't stop the pass, yeah, that's fine, but you can also run the ball like crazy and hold on to the ball forever. So running will always dominate the sport. As long as it's not flag football, it'll always dominate. And if the field stays the same size, it's going to be fine. So, Ashton Jeanty, man. It's going to be an interesting draft this year. It really will be. I mean, even the rankings. You got people like Travis Hunter, Ashton Jeanty, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward even. I scouted Emeka Egbuka, if that's how you say it, from Ohio State last season. Wasn't super impressed because I wasn't sure if he'd come out or not. And he didn't. He decided to stay, which is fine, but I really just wasn't that impressed, to be honest. You got Kelvin Banks. Yeah, I just get excited for the draft, period. And, I mean, you got a historic kind of running back that's really crazy. You got a player that might play two ways, or at least try to. You got an NFL Hall of Famer's son at quarterback that might go first overall. Like, that's crazy, man. There's a lot of storylines here, and I can't wait to just get through it all and get through all the terrible narratives that go out there and really try to get what I believe it to be the truth, not my truth. I don't believe truth is subjective. I believe it's objective, but try to get to the objective truth and find our way through it. I'm excited just moving forward. What I really want to see is I want to see the Bills. If the Vikings don't win the Super Bowl, I want to see the Bills win the Super Bowl. Kind of. But then they're one of the teams that they're off the list of one of the teams that hasn't won one. But I feel for them. Like, Vikings and Bills fans, they're kind of similar. I do feel for them. I don't know. I don't care. I just don't want anyone other than the Vikings to win the Super Bowl. I'm just a petty fan. But, yeah. I mean, I'm going to try to just continue to get healthier and not sound sick on the mic. And don't you love when you're just trying to hit the hour mark and this is the longest 2 minutes of your life and it's like 11:30 at night and you're just trying to get ahead of stuff? Here's a Diet Coke sip for you. For those of you who listen, who probably won't listen this long. But hey, God bless you if you listen this long. Pour one out for my homies. Pour one Diet Coke out for my homies. Don't forget to follow me on X. I'm going to start live tweeting games. It's TWYCF on X. Take what you can football on X. My name is Terrell. Don't forget, Jesus loves you. don't forget that I post this podcast 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Please share, like it, listen. If you are listening this long, thank you so much for listening. I really enjoy doing this, and yeah, take care.